Hey everybody, it's Dr. Laura from the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities, and this is today's medical moment. Today we're going to be doing some follow-up questions from the webinar that I did the other day for families regarding the COVID vaccine. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about a few of the questions that people asked and going through some answers. Look for this on the DODD Family Forum as time goes on for a question and answer session where you can pose your questions and hopefully we'll get those answered. So let's start. A lot of people had asked me about their specific situation. If their individual had a specific thing, let's say epilepsy, as well as another thing, another diagnosis, maybe autism, and whether or not they should receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Each individual is unique and different. That's what makes everybody so special. So you should always feel free to ask your physician or medical provider regarding their opinion, since they know your individual best. You can see I'm in my office here today, and so it would be something that you would do, maybe a telehealth or even place a phone call to have some information. So another one of the questions was regarding the ingredients in the vaccine. That's actually a really, really good question. So I'm going to read them to you and explain them to you. Each of the vaccines that are available right now from Pfizer and Moderna have very, very similar ingredients. It's almost like a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. There might be just one thing that might be a little bit different, but in the end, you get the same idea. So let's go through them. So it's mRNA technology, which the mRNA, like I mentioned, is the messenger ribonucleic acid. That basically is a little letter, if you will, that our body reads, and then after it reads it, it disposes of it within 24 hours. Then comes the lipid layer that is a protective bubble, kind of like an envelope around a letter. The lipid layer, though, has some weird words that might seem really different to you or I. So let's go through them. So in particular, what oftentimes can be seen, and this part is a little different with the Pfizer versus the the Pfizer versus the Moderna vaccine, but I'm going to read them to you from Moderna. So SM102, PEG 2000-DMG, cholesterol, and DSPC. Now, those are the abbreviated versions of some really, really long words that basically are just lipids or a protective bubble. Now, lipids actually protect other things like our cells in our body. And oftentimes we think of lipids as being a bad thing, but lipids actually are a protective layer. So again, lipid layer around there is like an envelope. And again, what happens when we read a letter, we might open the envelope and discard it. And that's exactly what our body does. The other words might also seem different, but they really aren't. They're things like sucrose, which is sugar. Honestly, it's sugar water. Sodium acetate, that's actually just another word for salt. Acid stabilizers, which sounds scary, but they're not, like tromethamine and tromethamine hydrochloride. That just makes sure that when that vaccine is going around in the vial, that it's just stabilized so that nothing happens to it. And then acetic acid. So again, another stabilizer and another basically acid that can help things keep stable. And there's other things that oftentimes that we don't even think about that are acids in our actual life. And so again, it's one of those things that these types of long words actually just help to protect and also to neutralize or keep stable the vaccine. But most of them, if you looked around, are going to be found in other things, to be quite honest, sometimes even like household goods or even food. So again, it's something that we don't need to be worried about, even though there's some really long words. Another question that many of you asked is what to do in order to monitor for side effects, especially if your individual is nonverbal or minimally verbal. That's a great question. So the side effects that are often apparent are things like a sore arm, maybe like a reddened area on the arm. Those are the most common side effects. Now, a reddened area could be something that we obviously may see. A sore arm may be that individual just seeming a little off, or maybe seeming different, or maybe even using their, again, communication style for when they are not feeling so well. So many of the individuals I know that are nonverbal or minimally verbal, their behaviors may be off, or they might be very sleepy or very tired. That could be some very common things that they may do when they are just experiencing some side effects. These side effects are often improved or resolved with something really simple like Tylenol or Motrin or even an ice pack to the area. So again, very, very simple things. Obviously, oftentimes you know your individual best, and or their physician or medical provider knows them best. So obviously, if you have any questions, please give them a call, but also make sure you trust your gut. Often many people out there have an awesome instinct about their individual, and so it's important to trust your gut when you know that something might seem different from them. So again, keep looking for these questions and answers. We'll keep answering as many as we can each week. And stay tuned to the Family Forum on Facebook as well as other social media platforms for more questions and answers from DODD. I hope you have a great day.